Okay, so I started this document last week, actually last Sunday, and I will continue from there. So anybody did not review last class from the recording? If you missed, if you did not miss, then you already have idea what I did.
Actually, I dedicate to read the e-class, the school. I'm sorry, the online class that you sent.
Okay. So let me actually let me share something first before actually starting. Okay. So I will probably go to that YouTube videos maybe where our okay YouTube, right? If you go to YouTube, dedicated tech solutions YouTube channel. So we have actually everybody. I shared the document for what is that homework assignment, right? I shared this channel, and this channel, this is the last class. Okay, so you can see that everybody.
Yeah.
So anybody want to know advance? Anybody want to see the entire course topics, everything from the beginning, like from our previous batch? This is the complete one of the complete batch I uploaded for you just for reference purpose. So you can check from the day 1 to all 16 weeks with more details, because that batch was like 2 classes a week, and you will see that there are more videos there. So our batch, like we are only like 5 students, so we are doing like kind of condensed it 1 day a week. So you will see less video for current batch, but anybody can go back to older batch like this. This batch has everything. So for example, if you miss any part of SDLC or STLC, right, you can go back to this course and check what was covered. But for our course, right, our current batch, as I said, we are following SDET. SDET manual testing so far we did, right? So everybody should be practicing. Everybody should be actually should be done with this manual testing part. So manual testing, this one. So this one is actually first 5 weeks of your content. Especially out of 15 class, there are 15 videos, right? So out of that 15, so first 9, I said you should be actually concentrating on for now, and other 6 you can do later. So after that, I said for Java, there is a course, Java for Selenium. This has 13 classes or 13 video clips. So you can start from the beginning. And I said last week that you can go for first 2 classes. You can start reviewing first 2 classes from these 13. So these 2 for now, our reference purpose, where we are actually following, because there are so many materials, there are so many resources. You can actually go to if you search on online, like you will find like thousands of videos. But as I said, we are concentrating on, for our batch, these SDET courses. So these courses actually explained everything with a lot of details. So if you just watch those videos carefully, you will understand 90% stuff. If you don't understand like 10% stuff, you can always make a note, point it out, and when we come back, our live session every Sunday, you can always ask beginning of the class that I did not understand this point, or you can always send the topic on our WhatsApp channel. Okay, so we did not understand or we did not cover this during our class, but we saw in this video, he was explaining this. Can we cover this? Or if you need any more clarification, we can always go back to that point and explain more and cover this topic in the future classes also for clarification. So that was actually kind of a structure for this current batch. But going forward, you see that January 2023 QA batch, all the future classes recordings will be under this. But I added some of them for reference purpose so that you can just go back and see how was the topic and what type of topic will be covered during the course. So we started Java last class, and first few slides, it was like very much fundamental. Make it a little bit bigger. What is Java? Why Java is object oriented? Why this is platform independent? This type of like definition point of view. Some history of Java, some other concept, rules, regulation. When you create a Java project, then Java package, then Java class, like folder structure. So these two steps, right? I said were required for practice point of view. And most of the company will be using, there is another one, IntelliJ, that we are using actually. This slide does not have IntelliJ. So Eclipse is very popular. Maybe 60% company use Eclipse and 40% company use IntelliJ, because Eclipse is older and this Eclipse has bigger market cap, but IntelliJ is getting very, very popular last couple of years. And many companies started using IntelliJ now, actually. So we actually discussed a little bit about different versions. One important point here that you see that there are many versions, right? Java JDK for when you write Java code. But you have to consider version 8 or higher. If you download on your laptop version below version 8, maybe your coding will fail or your IntelliJ will not work, or basically you will get unexpected errors. Maybe sometimes it will not work. So any company right now using Java, they are using 8 or higher. So even for Selenium, automation practice, anything we will do in the future, everything will be version 8 and higher. So currently version is 19 in the market, right? You can download any version from 8 to 19 in your system and it will work perfectly. So I showed a little bit about how the project will be created and the folder structure on IntelliJ. So what is IntelliJ? This IDE, let me go to IntelliJ a little bit first. So we started this one last Sunday. So this is a project I created last Sunday. So I think 1 or 2 students missed last Sunday. So I can create another project and continue. So this is just like folder structure. So a project name will be kind of parent, and under parent, there are sub folder. So all you have to, as I said, all you have to concentrate on SRC. This is a source folder. Other 1 or 2 or 3 folder, you don't have to worry about, because you will be writing codes only inside the SRC. These are default folder comes with the project on IntelliJ. You don't have to worry about anything. One thing important, when you see this external library, this external library should have your JDK libraries that is coming from your JDK that you installed in your system. You see that my laptop has JDK 17. So as I said, JDK 8 or higher should be perfect. Right now, the latest one is 19. So you can download 19 also, you can download 17 also, you can download 11 also, it's up to you. But make sure nothing less than version 8. So quickly just create one more project, just whoever missed it. So if you want to create a project, what you will be doing? Go to file. You see that there is a file, new. You see that project, click on project. And new project will be asking some new name, right? So I can give January 2023 QA batch. This is, for example, project name.
Actually, I cannot see your, I think you're working on IntelliJ, right?
Oh,
I cannot
okay.
see. I only
Let
see
me share my entire screen.
drive.
I think my screen. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, stop
Okay.
sharing and share again. Okay. Okay, now you can see. I think you should be seeing now.
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay. Thank you for actually clarifying that. Probably I selected a single page. So actually I'm going back then. So going to file. What is that thing? Okay, you see that file? You will see always file. Whenever you open IntelliJ, right? You will see a file, new project. So I'm creating new project. So new project needs a new name. So I'm giving January 2023 QA batch. For example, this is my name. Location, you can select any place. So I selected document. You can just keep as it is default in desktop or download, wherever is this location you want, you can select. Make sure that this is Java, because we are not using other language. So we are practicing Java, and this is IntelliJ. After a few weeks, we'll be using Maven also. Instead of IntelliJ build system, we'll be using Maven. But this is not for now, for later purpose. And always make sure that you have the correct JDK version. Right, because I have 17, so this is showing 17. But if I had 8, it will be showing 8, right? If I have 19, it will be showing 19. So now then create. If I just create, just want to open a new window. You see that on the left side, your project already created. You see that? And you will see a couple of folders. As I said, this idea, right? This is default folder. You don't have to worry about anything. All you have to worry about SRC. This is source folder, and source has main. So this is a sample test class. So you can just delete this. I'm just deleting for now, because this is a sample one. I don't need. I will create my own class later. So you can think about this as a folder structure. This is like parent folder. This is subfolder. So even subfolder is source, right? So under source, I can create more subfolder. And for example, package, right? Package can be your subfolder. So if you right click here, new, You see that package? So you can give week 2. So my subfolder is week 2, for example. Week 2. So this is another subfolder under source. So you can actually write your test cases under this week 2 as a class. So basically in Java, it will be class, but if you think about manual testing point of view, it will be test cases, right? So each test cases can be one class. So we'll see that later. So for example, we started practicing Java. So far what we created a project, we created a package, and under package, we can create more test cases or classes to write our Java code. So there are some naming convention that we follow as part of programming community. So international programming community or coding community, they follow some concept. For example, you see that camel casing. So anytime you write multiple word, every word should be uppercase. So that, for example, if I want to create another class, another package. So for example, I'm creating another package. So package name is Java practice week 2. You see that every new word I'm writing new word, it is starting with uppercase. So this is called camel casing, that too. Whenever somebody read those code, somebody actually review your package, right? So those naming convention will be easier to understand. So anybody read, they can say, okay, there are 4 words. Java is 1 word, practice is 1 word, week is 1 word, and 2 is another word. So this is really important.
The first word doesn't need to be uppercase. It can be a lowercase.
So when you create a package, right? Package usually start with lowercase, but you can also start, it can be also start with uppercase. But whenever you create a class, means a test case. So I can write, for example, one test case, my test case 1. That will be a class. So you see that this one is uppercase. So class always start with uppercase. This is the naming convention. But package usually start with lowercase. But if you want to add instead of lowercase, uppercase, it will be also work. But class, the naming convention is always start with uppercase. These are some just naming convention. You see that package start with lowercase in general, class start with uppercase. Variable method will be always start with lowercase. So we also discussed about variable last class, and also data types and different type of comments. So there are 2 type of comment we will be using, that double slash will be for single line comment, 1/* will be used for multi-line comment. So for example, this is a class, right? So now, what is comment? Comment means you want to say something about this code to the reviewer, right? Anybody, like you wrote the code, tomorrow you left the company, somebody will come and check your code or read your code for testing purpose. So you want to give some information. This is my first test case. So you gave on login screen, for example. So you said that, right? So this is a plain English, but Java doesn't understand plain English, right? So JDK doesn't understand plain English. So they have some specific rules. So Java JDK said you can write plain English, it will be understood, but you have to always give a double slash. So if you give a double slash, there will be no error. You see that? No more error. It will be understood. So it will be understood as a comment. But if you don't give this double slash, your code will not work. It will give you error. So now you're saying that you are now adding more lines, right? Something adding more details. So you are giving some maybe requirement details here. So for this type of situation, when you have multiple line of comment, the good practice is use the multi-line comment structure, like one slash means forward slash and then star. And after the last line of comment, you will be doing opposite direction, star double slash. You see that? So you can have multi-line comment, no problem. But you see that instead of giving every line double slash, if you have like 10 lines of information, you can add there. Only you have to do one slash, star, and star, one slash. So this is two types of comment you will be actually using in Java.
Excuse me,
Sure.
Chantal. So that comment is part of the first one. It's like it's a very long comment, or when you start with the slash and star, it's another one.
You're talking about this comment?
Yes, that's like at the beginning, and then when you
No, this
start.
is a single line comment. This is not a beginning. So I'm saying
Okay.
this is, if you just have like one line comment, you can use, you don't have to use this forward slash star and then star forward slash. All you have to do, just give a double forward slash. That's it. Forward slash twice. You see that? This single line comment. Now, if you think that, okay, you have to write multiple lines, then you have second option, one slash star, and then whatever you want to write multiple lines, and then opposite way, star forward slash. You see that this is another way to write a comment. Now you can also write, instead, for example, you don't want to write this option. What are you going to do? So then you have to write beginning of every line like this. You see that every line will be double slash. So you don't, if you have like 10 line, you don't want to write 10 line like this, right? So you'll just always start with one slash star, and then end of the last line, just give another star and one slash. That will be just saving you time. You see that there is like how many line of comment here, like 4 or 5 line of comment, right? So all you have to do, give a forward slash and then star, and then end of last line, star forward slash. You can use this for one line also, but for one line, you don't have to use this. Okay, for example, if I want to write for one line also, I can do that. This is just for one line, right? You see that? For one line also, you can do that.
Yeah.
But for one line, usually you just do double slash. That's it. You don't need this. So this will be just way to write comment or comment out some specific instruction that's not related to the code, just to say that, okay, what this code about. So we also discussed last week different type of data, right? There is like total of 8 data type, that is primitive data type, and we discussed mainly one non-primitive data type. We will discuss more another one, array, in the future class. Array and string will be used for non-primitive data type, and these 8 type will be used for primitive data type. So we also discussed that, okay, each data type, right, has a different values. You don't have to know these numbers for the interview. This is just for information purpose, but you have to know those names. You have to know those names. Let me make it a little bigger. Yeah, you have to know these names and what does those data type actually containing, right? What is that data type? So what is Boolean means, what is char or char means, what is byte means, what is short means, what is int means, what is long means, what is float means, what is double means. I also actually, okay. So I also actually reviewed W3 School, Java. It was part of your reading assignment also. The assignment was given after the class last Sunday on WhatsApp channel. So you see that Java, W3 School Java. I said read these topics till Boolean, because we covered last class till Boolean. And I supposed to start from if else today. So anybody has any question on this topic? If you read, and I also
Yes, I
said
have
that,
some questions.
sorry.
The first one is about the print line. There is 2 types of print. You can just put that print, and the other one is print line. And I didn't see the difference when you use one.
So you're
or
talking
the other
about this one, right? These 2 type of print.
Yes.
Okay.
Is when it's, yes, the print method.
Okay, so print is a method to display whatever you write. So for example, if I run this, I will see hello world here. You see that hello world? So if I write couple of more line, so I wrote like 5 or 6 line, and if I run this, you will see 5 different hello world. What happened if I just remove this ln? If I remove this ln, will it work? It will work, but what's gonna happen? It will be not like 5 different line. It will be in one single line. Everything will be one single line. You see that? Hello world, hello world, hello world. It will not be readable. It is not user friendly, right? You cannot read properly. So if you have something should be displaying separate line as a separate line nicely, you cannot use this way. You have to use with print ln. Print ln means show this in a new line, basically this one. So if I say ln now if I run this, you will see this line will be displaying as a separate line and rest of this will be another line. You see that? So this is just two different type of print, with println and without ln. That part you understood?
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay, that's good. Any other point you did not understand, anybody? Until Boolean? So everybody is clear about data type?
Yeah.
About variables?
Yes.
Okay. So Nadine, you I think missed last class, right?
Yes.
Did you get a chance to review?
Only partially.
Not entire thing, but I'm saying on high level, like I'm saying, do you need some explanation about variables? What is variables? What is data types? Or you kind
I
of
mean, mostly
understand?
yes, because I missed most of the class.
Okay. But you didn't review the video, right?
I only watched partial of it. Like half of it I watched.
Okay. So I can just quickly just go over what is, okay, let me check. You can go, yes, last Sunday's class and listen to this one. So last Sunday, we discussed about types of data, and also related to this data, there are variables also, and how you can use those variables. So if you go to these notes, these are different types of data. And each different type of data will be representing different like type of values. Like for example, 10 is a number, 1000 is a number, 1 billion is a number, but their size is not same, right? Like 10 is smaller, 1000 is bigger, but 1 billion is much bigger. So similar way, you see that these byte, short, int, long, float, double, these all 6 will be dealing with numbers. All 6 dealings with number, and char, car or char, that will be dealing with one single digit. It can be number, it can be some special character like dollar symbol or hash or percentage sign or anything, or uppercase letter A or lowercase letter a. Any single digit or single number or character will be under car, and anything related to true or false will be dealing with Boolean. And these are some size that Boolean needs 1 byte of size, car needs 2 bytes, double needs 8 bytes, long needs 8 bytes. Like these are some size, right, related to each data. So if you are using 10 in some of your test case, you probably will be using this either short or byte. You for 10, you're not gonna use long because it will be like using a lot of space from your memory. For example, 8 versus 2, right? Like 4 times. So if you are using dealing with 10 and using long, you are just wasting unnecessary space, for example. It can be an interview question, right? So your interviewer can ask, when you have a short value, why should not you use long? So basically you will be declaring those, right? So when you actually save those data on your IntelliJ or write this code, for example, you see that 5, right? 5 is a number that can be part of any of these. It can be part of byte, it can be part of short, it can be part of int, it can be part of long, right? So basically byte will carry anything minus 128 to plus 127. So 5 is definitely, you can use this just 1 byte. Maybe you can use short, sometimes it will be int. But if you are using long, that means you are just wasting of space or memory space. So you don't have to do this. Sometimes it actually slows down your performance. But if you have like 2 billion, then you can use long, because that 2 billion will not be, definitely will not be byte or short, right? You have to check what is the maximum number for int. If it is part of int, you can use int, but you can use for like billions of like these big numbers, you can definitely use for long. Long is very big number. So that you are not wasting space, you are not wasting memory. So that's some kind of analogical time of analogy that you are doing when you're selecting what data type you will be using to declare some data. That was the purpose of explaining this. So I can use int, or I can use basically here maybe byte. You see that byte, not a problem. But if I give byte and give here like 2000, you'll see this is an error. Means it is saying that byte cannot hold 2000. This is actually holding, byte will actually hold much smaller number, like as I said, minus 128 to 127. It can be hold under short. So that if I write instead of byte, if I write short, there is no more error. So now if I give even bigger number, like 20,000, you will see 200,000, you will see error again, because short is not holding 200,000, because 200,000 is too big for short. So it is saying now, okay, change the type. 200,000 is not applicable for short. You need bigger type, right? So bigger type is int here. Int is actually carrying 200,000. So now I'm going back, and if I say instead of short, just write int. And you see that this error is gone now. Same thing happened now. Now I'm saying like, put it like 2-3 billion. You see that there is error. It's saying that int is not good for this big number. It's saying just put the long. I'm saying L and G, long. So for long, there is some other thing you have to change. Anytime you use long, you have to say that this is a long number, and you have to write a letter L at the end. You see that L? If you write L, there will be no more error. So for long, you just cannot give long. You also have to write a letter L also at the end. It can be uppercase L or it can be lowercase L, doesn't matter. I gave uppercase, I gave lowercase, it still works, right? You see that? Still works, doesn't matter. So this is the types of whole number, right? This is basically byte, short, int, long. They are working with whole numbers. So now if you have a decimal like 2.5, 11.7, something like that, these are the two type of data type, float and double. So float and double both will be handling decimal point. So now if I give here 5.5, it's giving me error. It is saying that int is only for whole point. You have to change the type. So now if I give here like double, this error gone. You see that? No more error. If I give float, you see that float is also handling decimal point, but similar to long, right? It is saying whenever you use float, write F at the end. So that's why most of the time, tester or developers, they just, unless necessary to use, they don't use long or float. Because long is very big number. Most of the time, you're not going to use this big number. Most of the test data will not be long, actually. And you will not be using float. Most of the time, you will be using probably double, because there's one extra F, one extra L, there's extra work. Sometimes you don't you don't have to do this because there needs sometimes maintenance also, right? So these are the types. So instead of writing extra F, you will just do this double. So these are two different decimal type, float and double. As I said, for float, you have to give one F, and for long, you have to give end of the number, you have to give one L. So that's the difference. Now, what is char? Char is one single character only. So for example, I'm giving char C equal to, I'm giving dollar symbol. And the main rules for Java, anytime you write any statement, always end with semicolon. Is that semicolon? But this is red, right? So char always will be given inside a single quotation. You see that now? No more red. So anytime you give char, you have to give the value should be inside the single quotation. So what is C? Can somebody tell me what is C here?
Character.
What is C or char 1? What is that actually? From the last class, maybe Nadine wasn't in the last class, but other three of you were in last class. What is CHAR 1 or C1 or X or Y? What are those actually?
Those are the variables?
Yes, those are the variable. Those are variables. Variables are the container, right? Like we explained last week, that you cannot just assign any value directly to the data type name. These data types should have a reference variable, and reference variable is kind of container, so that anytime you want to display this 200L, you can just write Y. So Y is basically representing this 200 billion or 2 billion, whatever number is there, or X is representing 5.5, or CHAR1 is representing this dollar symbol. So you can use this CHAR 100 times if you want. So this is like a box or container. I was giving some like analogy that, okay, if you go to supermarket, right? If you carry one bottle with you, what you can buy with this bottle or gallon, one small gallon? You can buy maybe milk, or you can buy maybe oil, any liquid stuff. You cannot buy potato and keep inside the bottle, right? For potato, you need some kind of bag, right? Plastic bag or paper bag or any type of bag. So each type of data requires different type of container, right? Since char is a different type of data, long is different type of data, double is different type of data, they need different type of container. So usually data type and variable name or variable comes side by side, right? So anytime you declare a variable container, you have to declare also what type of container is that, right? So X means this container will only carry, for example, double type here. if you give like something like name, like I'm giving my name, it will give me error because this name is not good for this container, right? So like, for example, if you give number here, it will be also give error. If I give, the car is only one character and this car one will be container for one character only, right? So if I give two characters, it will give you error. You see that error? So car type cannot carry more than one character. So this is type of container that you will be using. So that was explaining in data type with variable, declaration of
Excuse
variables.
me. I
Yeah,
have another question. So
sure.
the variables, we are going to write the variables depending of the project that we have, something that help us to identify what we are doing, right?
So where you will be using the variables?
If that to describe what the values are for, like if you write there X or Y, that's are the variables, but something that I can identify what you are writing. Let me explain it
Okay,
more.
okay.
Um,
Okay, so no, I actually not 100% sure about your question, but I can give you some
yeah,
example
like
where I will be
when
using
I
this type of.
see when I was reading it, say like they in the example they have like a string text, so you know are going to always write text after the string. So the word text, that is the variable they are using to identify. It depends on what they are talking about. I don't know if you understand now.
No, actually, I'm really sorry. I did not understand the question you were asking actually. It
Yes,
was an
I'm talking
example.
about the variables. The variables are given, or you put any word in the variables that you wanna understand what you're writing or what you are talking about.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So let me just delete this and so, okay. So for example, you will be decide what variable you will be using when you create some test data. For example, one of you testing, you are just so you have a test case, right? For example, so you have a test case. So for example, step 1, you said, so you said go to go to login screen, login URL, login screen, right? URL or screen. Now step 2, type user ID. User ID. Step 3 will be type password. Step 4, step 4, right? Right there. Step 4 will be click on login buttons. And step 5, Step 5 will be make sure this is from manual testing point of view. You are on home screen. Now, how you know this is a correct home screen? So inside the step 5, you are also saying that if you see correct logo or title, if you see correct page title, the step passed. So this is like one of the test cases you wrote in manual point of view. Everybody understood this part? This is manual testing.
Yeah.
So in automation, when you use automation with Java, right? So what you will be doing when you write a test case, you will say, before going that, I'm just going to last one, the string data type, right? So string data type, basically anything can be, but it will be given inside double quotation. So if you go to string data type, where is my, okay. Sandbox, okay, here, right? If I give here one string, so one important thing that all the data type will be, all the data type under primitive data type, right, will be always written with lowercase letter. If you see there, Boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float, double, they are not uppercase. D will be lowercase, F, L, I, S, B, C, B. All of them are lowercase. But when you talk about non-primitive data type, they will be always start with uppercase. So string is a non-primitive data type, and that's why it will be uppercase. So this is just like naming convention. So I'm giving some name. So if I say, for example, USA, and semicolon, this is the rules for Java, anything you write ending with semicolon. That means this complete line. So string S1 is representing this string, and this is USA is the value of this string S1. S1 is representing USA basically. So if you say S1, basically you are saying USA. So now go back.
I just have.
Yeah, that's
a
what I
question.
mean. S1 is the variable that you name. It depends on what you are talking about. That's what I mean. You create those variables names as
If
you
you
are
give,
identifying them.
yes. Yeah. So it can be anything, right? Anything. Like if I give the name Gilma, it will be still a variable. This is the name of the variable. You are giving this variable. So the standard
Yeah, that's what I mean.
standard is whenever you declaring some variable name, it should be something related to your project. So if you are declaring string user ID, Gilma 123. So you are declaring your user ID variable at Gilma. Is that a good practice? This is not a good practice, right? So whoever will be reading this code, like maybe you wrote it, you know, but if another person read this code, they don't know what is Gilma is actually. Gilma 123, what is that? What type of test data? So this is, you can say user ID. User ID equal to Gilma123. So now if somebody read your code, so they will say this is a test data, Gilma123 is a user ID. You can write same thing. Right? So now you can say at 1.5. So what is that? Why user ID is red? Can somebody tell me?
Because
Because your
it's a
username.
duplicate.
It is a duplicate. So your variable cannot be duplicate under same method. So if you have a method, for example, this main method, right? This is a method. Public static void main, this is a method. Your variable cannot be exactly same. Means anytime you have a duplicate variable, it will give you error. You can give some other, you can just change like one, it will be changed. But so you are giving now password. So you are giving password. This is a, so the standard is whenever you declare a variable, it should have some kind of meaning. You cannot just give test 1, 2, 3 or test ID or something. It should be something that if I read it, I can say that, okay, this is a sample password, this is a sample user ID. So depending on your project, right, wherever you are working on, you will be declaring those. So for this sample, right, so I just started one. This is one of the test case I created. So now if I want to write something, if I want to declare some of the variable here, right? So if I want to go to URL, I want to use the URL, I have to declare some variable, right? So I can say string and then URL. You can say test URL. It's still okay. You can say test URL so that if somebody read this code, even maybe after 1 year, you will be forgetting what was there. Like, so if you see test URL, that means you say this, okay, for this testing, you will be using this URL. So string will always go to double quotation. So I can give, for example, we gave like sandbox.com, right? www.sandbox.com, right? This is just like some sample URL. So this is one of our test URL, sandbox dot maybe underscore QA.com. So now, whenever you use for your automation purpose, you want to use this URL, all you have to do just call this test URL. You see that variable? You are just declaring, you are just keeping all of your test data in some kind of variable. I can say string user ID. You see that the naming convention, any variable will be start with lowercase, but still you have to follow the camel casing. I say. So this is your, for example, user ID, string so you can say password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything. So now you see that you have to click on login button. So login button has some kind of number also. If you go to some, what is that? Okay, I'm going there. I'm going to this. You see that this is some kind of login button or something, some button. Everybody can see this.
Yes.
So if you right click on this, you will see this inspect. We'll do this later. I'm just showing you some advanced classes now. In the future, when we actually use those in automation, we will go to inspect. You see this button has a ID, class or ID or something. You see that some kind of thing? Like if you go to google.com, for example. Or go to, where is that? I'm just going Udemy, for example. So if I go to Udemy, if I go to login, right? You see that login button, like every website has this type of button, right? Login button or something. So in the future, not right now, when you do automate your screens for automation, this is part of automation testing. You will go to inspect and you see this is login. So you have to copy this login and save this under your variable so that you can use this login button. String. So you understood what I did? Everybody?
Yes.
So that if you want to click on login button, all you have to just call this login button and click on this login button. Now, what is the last step here? Before that, you are going to some home screen title. You see that, remember? If you see correct page title, so what are you gonna doing here? So same thing, just going back. So now I'm going to, for example, Udemy, right? So if I come to Udemy and one of my test case passing criteria is, if you come to this screen, you have to make sure you have Udemy logo to say that this is a Udemy page. So all you have to do, make sure, inspect. So Udemy, you see that? Udemy is present in this screen. So now for reference purpose, you have to save this in some string variable, right? So I'm just discussing about some use case that you will be doing actually in the future after learning this Java. So logo or title, or you can say page title. Everybody got right what I'm doing here actually?
Yeah.
So I'm declaring my test data actually that will be used for my test cases. You see that to automate these steps, I need those information. So when I have proper test data, this is test data from programming point of view, right? And before we did test data, we wrote in Excel sheet, we did some manual testing, right? We wrote it something, just checked through Excel. So now we are preparing this test data to automate this process. And these are based of Java actually. We are using Java language, Java programming language, not plain English. This is plain English. This is Java. Java also looks like plain English right here, but they have a specific format. If you don't follow those specific format or rules, you will see error. looks like plain English, but they're following some specific format, right? So this part is done. So all you have to do now, you have to write steps like this. Like, for example, now, this is, since I'm just explaining in plain English, I'm just writing with the comment. So when you write automation, right? So same thing you will be doing here. Command C. And you are basically giving URL, test URL, this one. Using this one for step 2, right? I'm just giving each of them. So here you are giving this variable user ID. Here using password. You are using login button. Here you are using page title. And here you are basically checking this page title is correct or incorrect. So you are saying that if, so you are actually saying here that if page title is true, true means correct, right? Then pass. So this is just like a automation script. That will be like your automation script. So this is manual test case. It will be your automation script for Selenium test case, automation test case. So for this, true false, right? You are going there. You are using this Boolean type. So basically, you are saying that here, for example, if you want to write Boolean, I'm saying title. Equal to true. So page title equal to true. So basically, you see that here you will be basically doing if title equal to true, then passed. So all you have to do just set up everything. So to do that, you have some other concept. Now,
I just have one question.
sure.
So when it comes to string and Boolean, what is the difference between string and Boolean? Why would you use Boolean while you're using string?
So string will be, okay, so string is a data type that will be carrying or holding all of your name, anything that not number. Even if you want to carry some number inside the string, it will be also holding a string. But whenever you use string, the main part is you have to give double quotation. So for example, if I want to write string phone number, you can write this phone number is a number, right? So this is not a something text. All you have to do, give inside the phone number. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for example, 10-digit phone number, right? So string will be holding anything, but Boolean will be holding only two things, true or false.
Okay.
Basically, Boolean will be yes or no. There is no other value Boolean can hold. And whenever it holds true or false, T will be lowercase, F will be lowercase. If I write T uppercase, it will be giving you error. This is the rules of Java actually. You see that? I gave T as a uppercase. It is not accepting. It will only accept lowercase. Oh, actually not. It will be true. You see that?
Yes. So
So
does
this-
does the false have to be followed with a semicolon as well?
Yes. So if I say
Okay.
false, so every time you declare anything, write any statement in Java, always have to have semicolon. So for example, that's why you are using maybe IntelliJ, right? So if here, right? If I run this, it give you 29.5. So if for some reason I don't give here semicolon, I forget to write semicolon, it will not give you 29.5. It will give you an error. And it will show you that exactly which line you have to change something. You see that Java semicolon is expected. You see that?
Yes.
And it is also saying that line number 8, it will give you a specific line number. Line number 8, semicolon is expected. That's why you are getting this error. So if you run this, now it ran successfully, no issue. So semicolon is one of the common mistakes at the beginning that you will be doing. Maybe that you wrote entire code right, maybe you forgot to just write semicolon. So you have to fix this maybe later. So most of like string is one of the most usable, heavily used actually data type during your testing. Most of your data will be inside the string. But from QS point of view, Boolean is the actually most important one, because you see that anytime you will be comparing something, you are passing your test cases, you are actually using Boolean. Anytime you will be comparing anything, it will be Boolean. Comparing means yes or no, right? So you will have expected result, you will have actual result. So every time you are running any test case, you are just basically comparing expected equal to actual or not. It is equal to or not equal to. That's it. There is no other maybe or something like that. Yes or no. It will be only Boolean. Yes or no. If it is no, means false, test case will fail. If it is yes or true, test case will pass. So every test case you write, like if you were writing like 200, 2000 test cases, all the test cases will be passed or failed based on Boolean. You have to write somewhere some Boolean statement if this logo is correct or incorrect. If you go to some store, like some medicine store, there are some medicine you have to be 18 years old. So there is a button in register. They will be asking you, are you 18? You cannot say maybe. There is no option for maybe or probably or anything. You have to either yes or no. All the application will be run based on yes or no. So your test case will pass based on yes or no. So if your income is, if your credit score is 800, you will get 5.5 interest rate. There is no yes or no. If credit score 800, it will be yes for 5.5. There is no maybe actually. So Boolean will be most important part of your test case execution point of view, but for data point of view, you will be using most of the time actually string. Sometimes you'll be using other one like int or double, this type of thing. But this will be like kind of you setting up the test data, and test data will be always saved as a variable, right? So you are not declaring test data just with a string, right? It has to have some kind of reference variable or container that you will be actually using during your testing. And what type of Boolean you are doing here? If you go back, that was part of your reading assignment. Close this. You see that operators, Booleans. This is yes or no, true or false. Everything is yes or no. You see that, right? Now, if we just simply copy this and go to IntelliJ. Now I am just removing this and paste here. Actually, I don't need this. So what is there actually they're saying? It is saying int x equal to 10, int y equal to 9. So if I write this, write the result, if x is greater than or equal greater than y, what will be the answer actually here? Is there is a like a maybe or anything?
It's the Boolean, and then you put the yes or no.
It will be the true or
It will be
false.
true. Yeah.
It will be true, right? True. If I say less than, it will be false, right? So it will be like that. Like, for example, I said, I'm saying age. Age will be int. The human age, right? Some customer gave age 17, means 17 years old. Now there is application you are testing, some store application like 7-Eleven or some supermarket application where whenever people buy like cigarette or alcohol, they have to check age. And this application is saying if age is 17, that means this is underage. They cannot buy any cigarette. For cigarette, maybe you have to be 19 years of old, right? Or maybe for alcohol, you have to be 21 years of old. So this logic, when you implement, it will be coming to the next one, if else. You see that anything in the future, you will be seeing most of them coming with kind of Boolean stuff. So now, then you are actually working with if else. So what is if else statement? If else statement means you are giving some kind of condition. You see that here? So now I'm actually maybe writing a new class, if else demo. So if I go to my source, right? We have multiple packages we already created. So now if I go to not sandbox, I'm going back to my original one. I'm closing this one. This one we created today. So this is test case one just for sample. Now I'm creating one more class. Whenever you create class, starting with uppercase, this is like standard. If else, I'm saying demo. So if else demo saying, if you see here, you can also practice from their online based IDE. This is very much similar to IntelliJ. So I'm just simply copying their example and then explaining inside the IntelliJ. So it is saying int age, I'm just changing a little bit, equal to 20. And I'm also writing some other thing. Name will be string, right? String name equal to, I'm saying customer 1, customer. This is just the customer. So now I'm saying if age is bigger than 19, then I'm saying customer or name. So that I also explained last class. You can use plus symbol for concatenation. And you can give any kind of text or anything you want to write inside the like string type of double quotation. So now I'm saying customer is eligible to buy cigarette, for example. Tobacco, okay, for example. So if any grocery or gas station or 7-Eleven or this type of store, right? You go, their register, right? Where they use the register, there is some kind of application they use. They should have this kind of option. When they scan the cigarette pack, for example, there will be a message that, okay, is the customer is 19 or older? Means you're supposed to check their ID, for example. Then it should be like this. For example, I'm saying product. So if I run this, what should be displaying here? Can somebody tell me?
The Boolean.
True or false?
Basically, this statement, right, is written based on this. If this is true, then write this. I'm saying if customer is more than 19, you see that it is written. So I gave name here, but in the display it is customer. Why it is like that actually? Can somebody tell me? Because this name actually representing this, right? Customer. You see the connection about this line?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So similar like this in the future, you are not using like customer or 20 or something like that. You will be always using for during the testing for coding. Sometimes you'll be using the real number, but most of the time you'll be using those variables. You'll be using those variables. So this is if statement. This is a single line if statement. If something true, run this. If something false, what happen if I give 16? Some kids, 16 years of kid go. And trying to buy some tobacco product. What gonna display here?
Or false, like customers not eligible.
I actually gave wrong place. This is not the 19 actually. This is 19, but I supposed to give, for example, the age is, so I scan the ID and I see this kid is 16 years old, right? So for 16, if I run this, I don't see anything, right? There is no instruction. So in Java, it says if age is more than 19, then customer is eligible, right? If customer is less than 19, then customer is not eligible. So you have to write this in Java. So this is called else. Else means so I'm saying
Shenton,
if
I'm
not,
really getting a little bit confused now
yes,
with the
yes,
if and the boolean
yes. So now
because
you
for
know, I
me
will
it
explain.
was the action for boolean. Yes.
Yes. So you see that this statement is a Boolean. That you understood? So this part you understood or not? This is this, like this part, just this piece is greater than or equal to 19. Yes or no? This part you understood?
Yes, just I thought that you was gonna write boolean over there.
Okay, so this is actually representing Boolean, right? So the question is, if the Boolean is true, this is the action. If the Boolean is false, this is the action. This part you understood? Just see from the screen.
Yes.
This is just same plain expectation, manual expectation, plain English. You are just writing in Java. So if I run this now, it is saying customer is not eligible, right? Because age is 16. So you already said that if age is more than 19, he or she can buy. If age less than 19, he or she cannot buy, right? This part, anybody did not understand just this statement? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, we understood.
So if else is actually conditional statement. So before going more stuff, just going back to conditional statement again. So there are arithmetic operator, we saw plus, minus, we saw Boolean, right? This is Boolean. Booleans are basically logical operator, right? So yes or no. So if it is, basically it is not multiple answer, yes or no is the only option. You see that these type of operators will be used for Boolean. Is there any different option, yes or no? If some number, if you compare with something, there will be always yes or no type of answer, right? You see that?
Yeah.
So this is relational operator or conditional operator, depending on how you see that. You can also see that here, like some more example, right? These are like plain math. I think you saw this in your school also. You see that this example, when you give two line, it will be or. When you will give two symbol like that, and symbol, it will be and. This is all of them just some operation that you already saw maybe in your school time. It like you have to just refresh maybe your knowledge again when you read this. Like greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, this type of thing. You see that? Anybody?
So I have a question.
Confusion?
Yes. So Boolean and if else are almost the same thing. Where Boolean is just yes or no, and if else could be yes or no or
It's the statement is not exactly same thing. I'm saying if else type of statement will be working on based on Boolean. If you go to W3 school, for example, right, you see that if else statement, this type of statement will be working on based on Boolean, means they will be comparing something. They will be always comparing something. Anytime you compare something, that is basically Boolean, right? Yes or no. So you understand compare, right? You are comparing two things. You are saying this person's height is more than this person's height. You are comparing, right? So whenever you compare, based on the compare, you will see the result. So same thing you did here, right? You said if age is more than 19, you can find the 16, right? 16 is the customer age. And you are comparing the 16 against 19. Is there what other option you have? It will be either bigger or smaller, right? But 16 is smaller. There is no other option. So Boolean is basically true or false. This comparison is always true or false. So do you understand comparison for any number or anything? Hello?
yes, I understand.
Yes, I understand comparison, but I think because I didn't read Booleans, I got reading until a string, so I was a little bit confused.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
can go
that
back to
part
Boolean.
we didn't.
Yeah, we can go back to Boolean a little bit here. So since most of you have confusion on Boolean, so you have to first understand Boolean types. So Boolean is also a data type that will be only holding true or false. It's not like a number. So if you say, what is the 2 is greater than, what is, like you are asking somebody that, what is your name? They can say yes or no. This is not yes or no, this is string, right? They will give you number. But if you ask somebody that, do you live in New York? What will be the answer? If answer is yes or no, that will be Boolean.
Like putting the example that you were checking on the page for Yumi, when
Yes,
you saw there the Boolean, but
yes.
there you cannot check the if.
Yeah, you can use if else statement here, right? You are coming to udemy.com. No, now you logged in successfully. You are saying if you see the logo is Udemy, pass the test case. If you don't see logo is Udemy, fail the test case. So what does that mean? It is yes or no. You have Udemy logo or not? Can you say is maybe there is Udemy logo or maybe not? Is there any maybe or probably? This is yes or no, right?
Yeah.
So if there is, your answer is yes or no, true or false. Yes means true, no means false, right? That will be actually Boolean. These three, right, is considering Boolean. You came to this website, W3 Schools. I'm saying, if you see a tab Java, click on it. I see tab Java, but if I don't see Java, that means there is no Java. I cannot click, right? You are just checking if something is there, yes or no. Then do the next action.
Can you write it like in the? Can you write it like where you were showing? Yeah, in the Intel.
Yeah, I wrote it here. Remember? What is that? Yeah, I wrote it in the last one. Sandbox, new. This one I wrote. This is the exactly same thing, right? So anytime you are comparing something, this is a Boolean. So in the manual test case, right? You wrote this step. This is just plain English, manual test case. What does that mean actually? You say that here, right? If you are on the correct page, if you see the correct page title, pass the test case. So how you pass the test case manually? No Java, no automation. How you pass the test case? Gilma, how you pass the test case? Can you explain?
I'm sorry, what is the question?
My question is step 5. This is manual test case. There is no automation, just you are just testing manually. How you pass this test case? Step 5. Your step 5, what is step 5 says? Can you read it actually?
Yeah, I'd say make sure you are on correct home screen.
So how you know this is a correct home screen actually?
That's going to show you I forget the names.
Yeah, there are several things you
positive.
can check, right? You can check several
Yeah.
things. You can check, for example, if you go to Udemy, right? So you can
Mhm.
check the URL. After you go to Udemy, you can check the URL. URL is one check validation. Another thing you can check page title, right? You can give multiple things also. You can give all of them. But if you say page title or URL, what does that mean actually? What you are checking actually? What is the concept? So you are saying that if URL is this, then this is a good URL. If logo is this, then this is a good logo. Or if title is this is a correct title. So what does that mean? You are just comparing two things, right?
Mhm.
So anytime you compare something, that is a Boolean. So here, right? This part is a Boolean. Because this part has only two options, is yes or no. That part you understood?
Yeah.
So now if you go to Boolean again, there are some giving some example of Boolean. They give some reference variables and saying that this is true or false. So Boolean will be always giving you true or false. Also here, right? 10 is bigger than 9 or less than 9. 10 is bigger than 9. This is true, right? This is another example, right? This is another example. Now, this is x, right? Equal to 10. Now, if you say instead of greater than equal to 19, now if I see this one, this is another option I can use. I'm saying is age equal to 19? So now my expectation is different. I'm saying that, okay, if age equal to 19, then do this. So if I run this, what will be the answer? Which one will run? First line or second line?
Second line.
Yes, so it will run the second line because the first line is not true, right? Because this is false. So you see that if this is true, run this. If this is false, else means the second option. You understood that, right? If is the first option, else is the second option. If is for true option, else is the false option. Now, if I give instead of 19 here, 16, it will run the first option. Because this part is true now. So this is Boolean actually. And this is some real life example. You see that? So this is some kind of real life example where it says, okay, if somebody's age is 18 years old, they can vote, right? Now, if you run this, true, right? So now you can just write another print statement that the person can vote. I can see this one actually. I can add this one also here. So I'm giving this, right? So it is a statement. So what can you do to add this option also inside if else statement? This one is not if else statement. Can I write if else statement here? I can write if else statement also here, right? Okay. It will be if my age is there is one variable my age, another variable is voting age, right? If my age is bigger than voting age, right? You see that voting age? So if this is true, so you can write, I'm just removing this. I don't need name. I'm just saying that the person can vote. I'm just writing just person can vote. So same thing, I'm just writing next line. Else, if the age is below 18, the persons cannot vote. This part you understood, everybody? This part? Just check this part. It's exactly
Yeah.
a similar concept. Just I'm using different statement. The concept is exactly same. Gilma, you understood? Just check.
Yeah, I'm checking.
So if I run this, I supposed to see the person can vote. But for example, if somebody is 17 years old, go there and run this, they cannot vote. The person cannot vote. You see that? Because the condition came as false. You can see this is a false for Boolean, right? If this is true, person can vote. If this is false, person cannot vote. You are just basically doing the comparison. Any confusion from anybody else? How if else works?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Yeah, okay. Because your test case, as I said, your test case during the automation, your test case will be passed or failed based on some kind of comparison. So this is if else. Now there is another option for if else, right? And else if. This one. So far you saw if. So if will be only work for true. If else will be working for true and false. And there is another option, if else, and the middle if you have multiple options. So what are the multiple options actually? Now I can actually create another class and go for multiple option, if else with multiple options. So right click, new, another Java class, means I'm writing another test case. If else with You can give W uppercase as part of camel casing. Multiple options. You can say multiple options or multiple conditions, right? Anything is same thing. I'm just writing it because so what you need to run any test case or any Java code, you need this, right? Public static void main. This one you need. Like this is kind of starting point for Java code. Anything you write inside the Java main block. This is called main method. Inside the main method, you'll be writing your test case. So if I want to add multiple options, what does that mean? So as I described you earlier, that one of the credit scoring system, right? Mortgage application. There is a mortgage application. Now, I want to write a code, write a script, right? Okay. Write a Java code for mortgage applications that will decide interest rate. That will decide interest rate based on credit score. Credit score. So this is your requirement. You are hired in some company, financial domain, and you are doing manual testing, but at the same time, you have one task for this application. You have to automate the script, and basically you have to write a test case where you can see the different type of rates that customer are getting based on their credit score. So what you are going to start, right? So you can say you have two variables here, two main important variables. One is credit score, right? You see that credit score is actually, I'll write some credit score is int, right? That is a number. That's not like a, so I'm just writing shortcut credit score CS, actually like the whole name. I can also write CS shortcut, right? Credit score 1 equal to 550. This is one credit score. So I can give another variable that is rate. Rate also is rate is integer or rate is double. This decimal point, right? Double rate. Rate 1. I'll just write credit score. One credit score is good. And rate 1 equal to, for example, starting point maybe 5.5. So I will write a couple of more rates. So these rates are coming from where? So if customer is 800 credit score and he's getting or she's getting 5.5, who decides that? Can somebody tell me who decides that?
The bank.
Who decides that actually? You are creating some brand new mortgage application. Who decides that?
The bank would decide that.
Is that bank decides actually?
Yeah, the bank.
The project is in progress, right? So there will be some kind of requirement. Requirement will be deciding, and requirements are coming from product owner. So basically, you will find this information based from your requirements actually. You cannot decide. Bank means what? Bank is a big term actually. You are working in some kind of project, and this project has their own team. Every project has their own project manager, product owner, right? Remember SDLC, STLC? So you understand this is not bank decides. Bank decides because this, if the product owner works for bank, ultimately bank will be deciding in high level, right? But so if you live in, for example, Queens, who will decide property tax? Your local town like New York City, right? If you say USA will decide, it is a big term, right? USA will decide maybe in certain level, but your local stuff, not USA will decide. Your local town or local city, right? State, they will decide. Similarly, right? If you say about who will decide, this is the project you are working on, that application. So mortgage application project, like for example, you are working on some mortgage application project. So this project, each project has their own team, right? And product owner will be representing from certain bank or certain company, right? That part you understood. Anybody has any confusion about this stuff, like SDLC project, SDLC stuff? So
No, I'm clear.
yes, so this type of information, any kind of logic is coming directly from the requirement. So now I say 6.5, another 7.5, 8.5, and then let me say 9.5, or maybe 10.5. Okay. 9.5. So there are duplicate, that's why it's giving you error. So just change rate 2, rate 3, rate 4, rate 5. So remember this is some kind of logical statement that we used. So logical statement or relational data. So this is a logic. You are creating a logic. Logic means Boolean, yes or no. So now I'm saying if, right? Similar statement you see here. I'm going actually. Actually not copy, just writing directly so that, okay, if I say if, then a parenthesis, bracket, right? So you see that if else, your logic will go inside the parenthesis after the if. So now I'm saying credit score. If credit score is greater than 550. Is that a right statement? This is a logic, right? I'm saying because your credit score, you will be comparing some credit score, right? So this credit score, whatever you are providing from the customer, and 550 here, 550, I can say your logical operators that you are comparing with. So customer credit score, you are comparing, and you are saying if customer credit score is more than 550, then you are saying this line. System.println, right? This one means you are actually writing something. That means you are writing what? Customer is getting rate so I'm writing customer is approved for rate and plus. So after plus, you are giving rate 5 or I'm giving, okay, I'm giving opposite direction from starting from 5.5. So I'm giving that 800 is a good credit score actually. So I'm getting rate 1. Now, before what we did, we just had 2 options, right? Yes or no. And now we are having how many options? We have 5 different options, right? We cannot do just 2 options here. We have 5 different options because different people will be giving different type of range. Similar way, if you go there, you will check. Before we went if to else, but now we are going to else if. In the all the middle options are else if. So same way, you can just write else if. So I am just copying this one, this part, because we are copying this part, right? Now, same thing, I will be copying 3 more time, right? You can write it, but I'm just copying for now. So how many options I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 option, right? And the last one will be similar to that. Else, right? Just else. Actually, last one is not else. So what happened if somebody's credit score is less than 550? That you have to also add, right? That will be your last option. So if once I write it, you will be actually, it will be more clear for you. Okay. So this is one extra. Okay, I just have one extra. So these are some of them are underlined as duplicate, right? So if I say more than 800, what about if I say, if somebody's credit score is more than 750? This is red because you see that there is a one opening parenthesis missing. When I copied, the parenthesis was missing. So I'm just adding this. Okay. 750, then 700, and then 650. Then actually 600. And then 550. Okay, so I'm saying rate 2, rate 3, rate 4, rate 5. And last one I said anything less than 550, loan application denied. So if you see these lines, so those are your logics that is given to your requirement. So your requirement says this application will be working as follows. If somebody's credit score is more than 800, this person will be getting rate 1, means 5.5. If somebody's credit score is less than 800 but more than 750, this person will get rate 2, means 6.5, right? If somebody's credit score is less than 750 but more than 700, this person will get 7.5. If somebody's credit score is less than 700 but more than 600, will get 9.5. If somebody's credit score is less than 600 but more than 550, will get 10.5. Now, if somebody's credit score is something like 500, means less than 500, means less than 550, right? Your logic will means application will only approve for 550 and above credit score. Anything less, loan application is denied. Anybody did not understand this requirement actually? Hello?
Understood. Understood.
This is all the banking domain actually works like that actually. Any credit card application or anything. This is like simple Java code, right? So now if I run this code, what I supposed to see? Some customer came with 500 credit score and run this application. So this main, right? This main is working here like, for example, apply application. You fill up the application, submit. This is kind of submit. So now after submit, after few minutes or few seconds, what is it saying? Your loan was denied, right? Based on what? Internally, they checked your credit score, right? Most of you are very familiar with this process if you have at least one credit card, right? So all the banking domain is like similar way actually. They're just following their criteria. Each bank has their own criteria, right? Some bank will give you 5.5, another bank will give you 5.0, another bank will give you 5.25. So every bank has their own requirement, every business logic, right? So that's why some bank has better deal, right? So it depends. Now, if some customer came and give their credit score is 850, this person will be approved by credit score with 5.5. That is the expectation. You see that? Customer is approved for rate 5.5. Everybody can see this?
Yes.
So, yeah, so this is the application that sometimes you are if you are working in banking domain, right? You will be writing some kind of code like this. And you are checking those if this application is working, basically. So what happened, you run this with 850 and you see there is 9.5. That means something is not working, right? So if something is not working like this, that means there is a defect. Your expectation is for credit score 800 and above, you're supposed to see the rate is 5.5. But in QA, when you're checking, you see on the web screen, it is coming as 9.5. That means something is not working. Then your expected result is not matching with actual result. And this is a defect. You are raising the defect, logging the defect, and it is going to defect lifecycle. It is now assigning to developer to fix. Your job is to find the application is working or not. Your job is not fixing it. Fixing will be done by developer. Anybody has any confusion about this if else? Yes. So you will be actually using this type of concept when you do automation with Selenium.
And what about, because the developers, they have these codes too. So
They have their
we go to,
different code
we
also.
don't check theirs.
No. You are not checking what is their code. You are checking your code. You are writing this to check the application. Internally, developers coding will be something like, for example, if you inspect, you see that their code will be something like that. You are not worried about their code actually. You see that this is developer's code. You are not checking their code. You are checking their code sometimes to see the field name. For example, what is this button name? You can check this here. That okay, this Java inspect, this button name is this, for example, right? This is you only checking, but how they wrote everything, you are not checking those actually. So this is developer's job actually, checking all other stuff. Your job is making sure that okay, the application is working or not. So end of the day, by using Selenium in the future, you will be just automating this thing. Means right now, for example, you go to home, right? Then you are maybe typing something like Java. Then you are going to Java and then clicking, maybe you are working on something like data types. You are checking this stuff, right? So this thing right now I'm doing by manually, right? I'm clicking using my laptop click button. But in the future, what you will do through automation, you will be using Selenium, that you will be writing the code, and Selenium will do that exactly same thing for you. And that will be part of your automation testing in the future, actually. And during the automation testing, what you are doing, basically, you are saving a lot of time, actually. So one test case, you are running 100 times, again and again. So you don't want to go every time type w3school.com. So all you have to do, you will go to IntelliJ in your Selenium script, just click on run button. And all the steps that you did, it will be just simply done in like maybe 30 second or 40 second or in a minute, or sometimes 5 second. You are saving time, you are automating, basically it will be more reliable again and again. But to do automation, you need some kind of programming language. And at this moment, you are learning Java programming language and how it works, right? So everything, these concepts is part of learning Java. You will be implementing those in Selenium to do automate your web browser. Any other question from anybody else? So there is another alternative of if else. This is called switch statement. So if else statement has another alternative. And if I go to Java again, so right now we are in if else, right? So if else you already understood. So now there is another option that if else can exactly same thing you can do with concept of switch statement. So similar to this, both will be, this part will be exactly same, right? But here when you write this, instead of else if, you will be writing switch and case by case. So going there, like this one will be case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6. So how many total condition here, right? There are 5 condition for approved application and 1 condition for denial application. So this, all of this condition will be under switch as a case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, 5, 6. So I will create another class to show you exactly same thing with second option of testing similar logic. Right click, Java class, switch demo. So switch demo, basically what I will do. So if you go to W3 School again, instead of writing if else, you see that they said already, you can also use switch statement. And how it works, you see that your logic, whatever you wrote here, right? You see that inside the if, it will be inside the switch. And then each condition will be case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. So when I show you, that will be actually, so there is switch has one more up thing that you have to actually, what you will be learning. So I'm keeping this part exactly same, because I will be using exactly same data for my switch statement also. So this part you understood, right? Write a Java code using switch statement. I'm saying my comment is little bit changed. For mortgage application, and this one is you are writing statement Java code with if else statement. Okay, so last one we did if else, and now this one will be doing switch. So this part is exactly same data type. So now instead of if, we will be doing switch. So what is there? This is switch, right? Now I can say day means, you see the day, what is there actually? That will be credit score. In W3 school, whatever was the day, right? It is actually, for our example, will be credit score. So I'll be right. Switch statement like this. Let's switch. And then inside bracket, you will say credit score. See that? And after that, you can see this, right? Curly bracket. And inside the curly bracket, you'll be giving some condition like this. Case 1, case 2, case 3, something like that. You see that? Like something like this. I'm just I'm doing copy paste, but I will explain. It will not be exactly same. So case 1, right? You are giving here I'm giving, instead of Monday, I'm giving those are okay. This case 1, right? Okay, 1 second. I'm just connecting here, right? So you see that day 4, this is case 1. So case 1 means day number 1, 4, or 3, or 6, or something. So that means 1 representing is actually for our one credit score. So if I write case 1 equal to 850. You see that? Now 850, and here I am writing exactly this. I'm just writing first, then I'll explain. Okay. So I'm writing more cases, 5 more cases, right? So I have total of 5 condition here and 1 condition for failing test cases. If something is less than 550. Okay. One, two, three, four, another one. And the last one, right? We had default one. Default means failing. So you see that here one is default. Default means if something is not, basically if something is less than the original condition. So what will be there? I can give default or I can give another condition. Or I can just directly write default. And if you write default, right? So default will be directly the condition that is failing, basically. And my default is this one. So 850, maybe 750, right? Something like that I can give. I can give maybe 650. I can give another maybe 550, right? And another maybe 600. And this is default. So you see that instead of writing this else if, I am just writing some case by case. So that means customer's input, like customer gave 500, for example. And 500 came here and it will check, okay, which case is matching this case. Since this case is not matching with any of these, it will directly coming from this. You see that loan application is denied. So now another concept here, if I give 850 here, and run this, why all of them coming as 5.5? Because you see that rate, I did not change. I supposed to change it, right? I supposed to change rate maybe to rate 3. Maybe rate 4, rate 5, and there is no other rate. So if I run this, do you see that there is a problem in this code? I gave 850 and now it displaying this one correctly, but also it is displaying this, all of them also. You see that the expectation is after you find your score and you display your number, you're supposed to stop running, right? You should not see, you should not see this on screen, or the application should not display this stuff. Only this line is the expectation. Other 5 lines are not expected. That means there is another word you have to write. Break. You see that break? So break means, the purpose of break is basically it is saying JDK that, or it is instructing your code that, okay, if you find the right answer, if you find the right option, stop there. Means if you find 850, just stop and display that and don't run anything else. So that's why if you don't write break, you will be basically getting right answer and also wrong answer. So whenever you use switch statement, using break is a must. So now if I run this, instead of all of these 6 lines, you will only see this line. Because now it is saying, okay, I found, JDK said, okay, I found 850. So I will come in this line, display this, and break means stop my running. I will not run anymore. You see that? Same thing if I say 650 instead of 850. It will first go here. It will say, okay, 850 is not equal to 650. It will go there. 750 is not equal to 650. Then it will go there. 650 is equal to 650. So you see that internally, it is checking as a Boolean. You understood it is checking as a Boolean here? It is checking if 650 is equal to this case or not. You see that I gave 650 and it is coming 7.5, which is red 3, right? It is correct. So switch statement will be working case by case, basically. If else statement will be working as a Boolean condition with if, else if, else if, else if. So switch statement will be doing exactly same thing, but different options. So for mortgage calculator logic, which one, can somebody tell me that between these two, which one will be the better one? Can somebody explain why? Hello? Hi, Ali, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
I'm
so
kind of, I think so I can't answer the question as far as which one is better, but I know the reason why one would be better over the other is if whichever one takes up less space to run. But I
less
don't know
space, you
which
think?
one. Yeah, I'm saying I don't know if like the case or the double, which of these takes less space for the system to run.
Okay.
But if the case is the one that's taking up less space and it still gives you the same result, you would go with the case.
Okay. So there is one issue with this switch. Switches will be used for also several application, not maybe for this. For this, if I use switch, there is several gaps. You see that now, what if some customers provide, instead of 650, they provide 649 or 640. Which one will be checked with that actually for switch?
Should be rate 4.
Which one?
Rate 4. It should be with case 600.
But there is no case for 640.
Oh, it's only exact. It's not less than.
So in the case, there is a thing. The case has to match exactly. That means you
okay.
have to write maybe another 100 line.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
here you are giving a range.
Yeah.
You don't have to write like, so you see that between 750 to 800, there are 51 range, right? You have to write only one, that's it. Anything inside this range, it is accepting this rate. So now if I switch this will be, application will be denied. It not should be. Because it did not find any exact match. So for this type of scenario, you have to use if else. Now they display differently, right? So this example, they said only there are 7 days. There are very limited, like in a week, there are 7 days, or in a month, there are 30 days, right? Or 31 days, or depending on if February is 28 days. So if there is very limited options, you have to check, right? Then you can use actually switch. But if you have a big high range, switch is not a good option actually. Everybody got the logic, right?
Yeah.
Gilma, you got the logic?
Got the logic.
Yeah, so sometimes you have to decide that which option you want to pick, because this one is working, but if the match exactly, it matches exactly with the options here. Anything outside the match, like 849, the customer should get definitely 5.5, but it will deny because it didn't match. but here it will be working. So yeah, so this is switch statement. So basically, so if I copy and paste, so okay, if I copy and paste this one, so I did just copy and paste and just pasting here. Another one example for demo. Okay. Can somebody tell me why this is red? Because there is no Java main method. Remember, you see that there is no Java main method. That's why it's red. So when I copied here, right? I just copied the internal body. So I didn't copy directly from with the main method. If I copy from main method, then there will be no red. You can type it or you can just so I can just paste again. You see that no more red. So this one is switch again, day 4. If I run this, it will exactly match with this case 4. It will be displaying Thursday. You see, if I give day 1, it should be displaying Monday, right? Yeah, so it is working same way. So you should always give another option as a default. Like for example, if somebody give 9, what's gonna happen? Nothing displays. So the expectation is if somebody give 9, just write a default one. You see the default and just type that just give a information to the user that okay, please provide 1 to 7. 9 is input is invalid. Is invalid. Please provide number 1 to 7. You see that like now if I run this, that whoever is the user or customer or whoever is the running this, they will say that they can see, okay, my input was not the expected input. Only 1 to 7 user input will be accepted. So what is that? This is like a negative scenario, right? So for your negative scenario, you're supposed to see this type of information. And anything 1 to 7 is positive scenario. If you give 0, right, that will be also negative scenario. You see that it's following the boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning, everything together, right? So this is switch and if-else statement. So I think you can review this W3 School again. I think just first, whoever has confusion, just read Boolean a little bit more carefully again, and then check some operators. Some operators like, this type of operators, equal to, you see that all of them all of them you should actually try at least once. You see that's all of this logical operator, right? They are directly actually Boolean, yes or no. Boolean, all of them Booleans. So those Booleans actually is very, very important. And in the future, you will see that most of your coding actually depending on the Booleans. Most of your coding will be depending on the Booleans. Any of these if else switch, all of them working on Booleans. Means yes or no, true or false. Okay. I think it's enough for today. If else and switch is done. If else and switch done. So loop will be, actually we covered break also. You see that break? Break also covered. Now, you see that continue, right? So since we have like 10 minutes, I can show you. So break is done already. You already saw. So break means it will be stop, and continue means it will be skipping that line. So now if I say here, actually, I'm thinking this is I should cover next class or not. Actually, go to there actually first. So what is continue mean? Continue means if your variable equal to 4, don't display 4. Go to next line. So continue means go to next line basically. So continue means go to next line. I will actually show this more in the future. But continue means go to next line, and switch me and break means stop there. Continue means go to next line, and break means stop there. This is the main definition. But I think we'll cover this later. I think today will be too much if I cover. Okay, so you can, as I said, you can actually practice this. But if else, okay, there is a shorthand of if else that I think I should cover before we actually. Okay, so this one is the last one. This will be very straightforward. Okay, shorthand of if else, that will be actually part of your coding all the time. So that's why I'm just doing this. Okay, just creating one more sample Java class and then giving this shorthand one. Okay. If else. So if you see this one, just I will explain. Okay, so what is shorthand means? If you see here, right, if else, you are writing multiple line, right? For one, two line for if, two line for else. But in shorthand, you are writing else, if else in one single line. That's it. So what does that mean? So if I just, okay. If I just taking this copy and just moving to the another screen and going to shorthand. So I'm keeping this inside a multi-line comment. Okay. So everybody understood what I did here, multi-line comment? The another code for reference purpose?
Yes.
So if else has a shortcut form, means instead of writing so many lines, you can write if else in a single line. So if I convert this one to single line, so that will be int age equal to 16, right? So instead of this, I'm just writing so you see that these two I added. So here, right? This one also you will be writing for. So basically you are not using that for now. These three you are using. The sequence will be this one. Actually, I'm writing here. So I'm saying if age, right? Instead of time, that will be age. Right? If age is greater than 19, then it will be displaying. If less than 19, this one will be displaying. This part you understood? Can you check this below and above? What is result? Result basically you can write anything. You can say output. Display. You can say display. So here you can just this is a variable, right? A string variable. The answer will be displayed as okay. So this one basically what you want to see. Okay. So display will be holding one of the answer, right? This part, anybody has confusion about this, why I wrote result or display or variable?
I just have one question. So like the parameters below 19,
Yes.
they're not eligible to buy tobacco products, right? And then if it's over, they are. So in the one line on the left side where you wrote is eligible to buy tobacco product, that's the true statement, right? And then that follows a semicolon, or not a semicolon, but a colon.
Yeah, colon.
And so, okay, so on the left side of the colon is supposed to be the true statement, and then the right side of the colon is supposed to be the false statement. Like that's the
Yes.
standard of how you write that.
Yes. So basically it is saying
Okay.
if this display condition is true, display this one. If this
Okay,
is
and that's the
false,
left side.
display
Yeah.
this one.
Okay, I just wanted to just make sure that left side
Yes,
of the
yes.
colon is for the true statement and the right side is for the false.
Yes. Left side is true statement, right side is false statement.
Okay.
Based on whatever is Boolean decides, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if I run this now, I'm hoping I will see that not eligible. You see that each eligible to buy. Okay. 19. Oh, actually I gave.
Yeah, that's what he was mentioning, the symbol.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Age is smaller than 19. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this one actually. Age is greater than. Yeah. Okay. So your base age is 19, right? So if your age is bigger than 19, you will be eligible. If age is smaller than 19, you are not eligible. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is correct. I just switched this one actually. So are you clear about this, the difference of shortcut actually? It's up to you, whatever you like actually.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. So I think we are done. If else done. And as you know, so you can do this.
This is only for like two potential answers, like a yes or
Yes,
no,
yes.
right? Just for this will not apply for like the credit score example because there's too
No.
many
No, this is
true
not for
statements.
multiple conditions. This is only for two
It's only
conditions.
for one, right? Yeah, two. Okay.
Yeah, this has limitation. This is only for two conditions. That's true. So I think we are done for the day today. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I think it is. So for today, you can still continue with SDET, Java. So this guy, right? Okay, so this one, Selenium. Okay, so Java operators condition statement. I think tutorial 2 will be this if else, is covering if else, this one. So try to follow exactly him for tutorial number 2, basically.
And you said for the SDLC lifecycle, we need to complete 9 videos of the other playlist, right?
For the manual one, they
Yeah.
have 15, but 9 is for tutorial to teaching purpose, and last 6 he gave like example for real life project. So last 6, if you can do, this is really good actually. You'll be learning a lot. But I'm saying the content for information, the first 9 is just information that he's
Got it.
So after Java, we have another series for Selenium. So Java concept first. So basically Java concept will be used in Selenium. Anybody is confused or has any question?
No.
No.
Okay. So if you have any question, if you want to sit any one-to-one session for any confusion, you can let me know actually. Otherwise, yeah, I'm hoping that you'll be understanding if you just study carefully. And if you give time actually to watch those videos and practice. Okay, so I think we can close the call today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.